The World Health Organization recommends that infants be exclusively breastfed for at least the first 6 months of life. Still, the WHO reports that as of 2010, only 35% of infants worldwide were exclusively breastfed within the first 4 months of life. Breastfeeding is not only beneficial to the infant, but also to the mother, as it is associated with a reduction in the development of various cancers and maternal depression, and it aids infant to mother bonding. In Africa, breastfeeding has become the recognized standard for good parenting for mothers. But not every mother wants to breastfeed or is able to breastfeed. For those that choose to not breastfeed exclusively, there is little or no personal or public stigma. You are only seen as brazen. On the other hand, mothers who are unable to breastfeed experience a different kind of stigma and are perceived as failures, causing them to have negative feelings of self-worth. Misconceptions about not being able to breastfeed circulates among all segments of the population, and too many women are afraid to speak up for themselves or share their experiences, but these conversations need to be held. My name is Marie Okore, and our guest on this episode, Titi Meduonye. It took a personal experience to recognize the gap that exists in the lactation education and awareness. Titi Meduonye, the founder, Chief Executive Officer of Milky Express Nigeria, is helping mothers resolve breastfeeding issues so that babies are adequately breastfed. Titi, it's so nice to have you here. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, so straight into the questions. What was the turning point for you?
Well, I would say that the turning point really was understanding that there was a solution. And then understanding that even when there was a solution, there are a lot of people who didn't know that there was a solution. So, at first I just wanted to help people that I knew personally be able to breastfeed easier. And then it just spiraled from there, random people calling me like, oh, I heard you do this, and oh, I heard you do that, and it really just opened up a can of worms, really, because it now shows you how many more, mothers have breastfeeding difficulties.
So a lactation consultant isn't something that everyone knows. I mean, up until recently, I didn't know that there was a specialized, career path for that. Why is it important, right? And when does one go for a lactation consultation?
Lactation consultants are clinically trained to manage breastfeeding and human lactation, and also infant feeding, right? So the goal, or my goal, is to be able to ensure that the baby is adequately fed and properly fed, and while the mother does this, she's healthy and she's happy and there are no challenges, And so usually consultations or meetings with a lactation consultant will start from pregnancy, because breastfeeding is natural, right? It's a natural phenomenon. However, breastfeeding is not particularly easy for everyone, and breastfeeding will not go the same way for everyone. And usually at pre birth consult, you can tell what pregnancy is going to be like for a mom. Yes, based on maybe health history, based on her body. You can do some assessments to see how breastfeeding, and make some predictions, and then mother is better able to prepare herself.
So there are endless myths on breastfeeding, but the stigma is worse for women who are unable to breastfeed. I mean, in this age and time, why is there still a stigma, and what are the contributing factors to them, and what can we do to stop this?
I would say that it's mostly an issue of education, because there's still stigmas on mothers who have cesarean section.
True.
It's really not just education or educating women or people who are now growing older, but re-educating even the older generation, so that they're not, because usually they're the ones who put that pressure.
True.
Right? So exactly. So re-educating the older generation to understand that, these things don't mean that she's less of a mother. Sometimes it's really not her fault. Right? Most mothers want to breastfeed. Why? Because you've already, first of all, you've been taught that, oh, you have to be able to breastfeed, you have to breastfeed. And then there's that nurturing nature of a woman that would want to, nurture her child and offer food, right? So naturally or normally, most women want to breastfeed. But when they're faced with challenges, it's really out of their hands. So here in Nigeria, a couple of reasons why I would say that we're still on this journey is because, one, of education, and two, the lack of breastfeeding professionals. So in more industrialized communities or countries, you find that there are lactation consultants who are part of the healthcare team, right? And for every mother who has had a baby, just the way you would see a gynae, just the way you would see a pediatrician, you would see a lactation consultant. Mothers are not just left on their own. You just go home and that's all, and you're expected to know everything and do everything, but it's not so. Because we don't have access to that kind of healthcare here, a lot of people still don't know about the benefits. And as a matter of fact, the breastfeeding rate, exclusive breastfeeding rate in Nigeria is actually pretty low. One, because 28%. One, because of the myths surrounding it.
8%.
Two, because of the lack of professionals, and three, I would also say because of the education or because of the knowledge that people have around breastfeeding.
So people are generally not adequately enlightened.
Yes, I mean, you would think that because it's a natural occurrence, people who even stay like in the local communities, you would think that they would breastfeed. So they're breastfeeding, however, they're not breastfeeding exclusively. And a lot of them even stop breastfeeding very early because of the myths.
What is one piece of information that you wish society would, do away with? And what is the one thing that you wish nursing mothers knew and took seriously?
There's not one thing; it's more than one thing. I'll try to narrow it down a lot. So I would say, first of all, society needs to, we need to be able to shift our ideologies or shift our mindset from what we expect mothers to be, or what we expect the motherhood journey to be. And yes, and it's a wide spectrum. So it's not just breastfeeding exclusively, it's not just having a vaginal delivery or a cesarean section. It's also surrogacy, it's also infertility issues. It's a whole lot, but there's just so much expectations, right? So to first of all say, can we just take a break already,
Okay.
right? Can we just take a break and understand that a mother who has a baby via C-section is still a mother, via vaginal delivery is still a mother, via surrogacy is still a mother, via adoption is still a mother, right? Can we just first steps, right? And then let's take it from there, right? But for breastfeeding mothers, I would say take it easy. I mean, you just had a baby. Your body has literally been through war, right? And even though your body is prepared to breastfeed, your body also wants to take care of you, right? So your body is sort of caught in the dichotomy of helping you survive, especially you who has been through a CS, and then nursing the baby. So if you're not in a healthy place in terms of your mental health, your physical health, you're not going to be able to breastfeed effectively.
How has social media helped push for awareness and information?
Well, social media has helped a lot. When we started Milky Express, which is 5 years down the line now, we started with social media pretty much. Yes, we started with social media. And it grew really fast. It blew up really fast, yes. And I feel like every business now, social media makes it easier for businesses to thrive, right? Every business, literally, if you want to buy something, nobody is really going to search online. Just pick up your phone and just do a quick search, right? So social media has helped to, within the elite community, to be able to help them see what's really going on with breastfeeding, break down the myths, re-educate them, right? But we don't stop there. So while social media has helped us, we haven't stopped there. We've further gone to now engage one-on-one with mothers who don't have access to this social media, so that they also understand and they also know, and also people who with them, so their spouses, family members. We also see how we can re-educate them, to be able to offer the support that the mother needs.
Okay. In one of your responses, you said that we all have a role to play for the breastfeeding mother, right? So for someone like me, right, what role do I have to play? What's my responsibility?
Well, your responsibility could be to support a friend, a sister, and support her in terms of, if you're going to visit her, for example, instead of taking diapers and wipes, which everybody keeps taking, how about you take something for the mother? How about you take a pamper package for the mother? How about you take lactation products for the mother, right? How about you let her have some attention as well, right? Offer her food, go with food so that way she doesn't have to cook.
Okay.
Right? So those are things that you could do to support the mother be more comfortable or be more effective at breastfeeding, and also share information.
What have been your triumph moments?
Whew. I think I would say that the most for me would not be the awards, would not be the accolades, but the most for me, really, what gets me so excited is when I see a random person, like she doesn't know me, I don't know her, like we just met somewhere, like and the person just talks about how, oh yeah, I used this product, Milky Express, when I was breastfeeding, and it did wonders. Oh, are you really the founder of Milky Express? I used it when I had my baby. It was so great. It really helped me. And I was like, wow. So I don't have to, you don't have to say so much. Like, people already know about it. That really gives me a thrill. That really gives me a thrill. And that's what really helps us to keep pushing. Because like you said, running business in Nigeria is hard. It's so hard. It's so hard. But yeah, those little wins and those little confirmations that you're on the right track, you're actually doing something, you're actually preferring solutions, and people are better off because of what you do. That's the kick for us.
Thank you so much, Titi. I have learned a lot from this session. I have learned a lot, especially on exclusive breastfeeding. I had a different notion, but it has been an interesting conversation. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, guys, we have rounded up another exciting episode of The Conversations That Matter. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms at UBA Group. Until next time, I am Marie Okore. Stay safe.